Hi, hello. I am making the Forest and Thread wide leg trousers. I'm very excited. I wanted some cool, easy, fun, a little spicy summer pants. So that is the plan. This is the fabric. I saw this on Mood Fabrics online and I ordered a swatch just to check it out and see how it felt. I do that more and more when I order online because I'm nervous about the feel. I can't put my hands on it. It's a lightish weight cotton shirting, so it's really nice and crisp. So the legs are going to have volume. They're not just going to drape close to the body. They're going to have some volume. So hopefully I'll like that. You never know, right? Till we match the pattern and the fabric, how it's going to go. But that's part of the fun. That's the experiment. Okay, so let me catch you up on what I've done. I printed out all the pattern pieces and taped them together and cut them out. Probably my least favorite part of this entire process. Then I washed and dried and ironed the fabric. I do that with pretty much all fabric before I sew anything. I laid it out, I cut the pieces, and I did not buy lining. So I was rooting around in my stash. I thought I must have some lining in here somewhere, and I found this. And I have to say I'm pretty pleased. I didn't remember that I had this. I think somebody gave it to me. It's not something I can imagine actually wearing on my body, but I think it's perfect for the inside of the pockets. It'll just be hidden away and it makes me smile, and the colors are great. So I'm very pleased. So yesterday when I sat down to do this, I realized I didn't have any interfacing. So I went to Mood Fabrics and I'm taking you guys along. I took a little bit of video, not a lot. There were a lot of people there and I don't want to intrude on other people. So I took a bit. I will show that to you in just a second. When I got home yesterday, I cut the interfacing out and ironed it to all the pieces. So that part is done. So I am ready now to start the first bit of sewing, which is sewing the pleats in the front. But let me show you my shopping trip and then I'll come back and we'll get going on this. I got dressed, had something to eat, and I was watching another YouTuber sewing video. I love to watch other people going through the process, making things. And this person was making a shirt long vest. And yeah, I had something like this back in the 90s that I wore all the time that I loved. And I've seen them lately, kind of back in fashion, vests, waistcoats in general. And I do love my, side note, my period series. Currently I'm watching Pull Dark. I know I'm late to the party, but it's really good. And everyone has a waistcoat on. So I'm watching this video and I'm really loving this idea. And of course, I said to myself this morning, I'm going to Mood to get interfacing, a zipper, just the things I need to finish these pants. I'm not going to buy any more fabric. I don't need it, you know. Well, let's see. We'll just see how I do when I get there. But I'm bringing the details for the waistcoats, and I'll put up a picture. And yeah, I kind of like the idea for summer, right? So I'm on my way. I am driving. I often take the subway, but it's Saturday, so I can park really easily. And if I could shoot a little video of this view of the Henry Hudson River, it's just spectacular here. I just love this drive. Turn the camera around. That's the George Washington Bridge. It's gorgeous. And I'm coming up on a little traffic. Surprise, surprise. All right, I will share some video with you in Mood. I'm sure you've seen it if you've watched Project Runway at all. You've seen the inside of it. It's pretty overwhelming. It's pretty cool. There's so much fabric. Hey, I'm heading down 37th Street. Here we go. The first place I like to start is the cotton aisle, the solid cottons. There's that seersucker there. I never sew anything in seersucker. I might try it sometime. And this is all cotton shirting. Looking at the solids and these various cottons just gives me sort of a baseline to think about what I want to do. I love sewing with cotton, and I also just like to check out if they have anything new, different that I haven't seen. So I usually start there. And I'm in the next aisle over. This, in the prints, this rose print really grabbed my eye. I'm not sure what I would do with it off the bat, but it's really beautiful. This is an aisle of silk. I just wanted to show you how long these aisles are. This entire aisle is lace, which I actually haven't spent much time in. It's every color you can imagine, so many beautiful types of lace. And this is the dark blue linen that I ended up getting for the vest. Yes, I did get it. As I said, I got home, I cut out the interfacing and ironed it on all the pieces, and then got started sewing. First step is to mark the two front pieces where the pleat that really defines the front is going to go. So the pleat in the two front pieces from the waistband down to the marking, back stitch at the end there because it's going to be vulnerable to movement and being stretched. Press the pleat away from the center front. Sew an edge stitch along the pleat on both front pieces. Tack the pleat in place, sewing close to the edge of the waistband. Sew the darts in both of the back pieces. Finish the curved edge of pocket backing and then sew the pocket backing to the pocket stay lining wrong sides together along all three edges. Finish the curved edge of pocket facing. Sew the pocket facing to the pocket bag lining wrong sides together around all three edges. Finish the straight edge of the pocket bag with an overlock stitch, then sew the pocket bag to the front of the pants. The wrong side of the pocket bag should go against the right side of the pants. Trim down the seam allowance, then press that seam toward the pocket bag. Lay your front piece over the pocket stay. Align the top of your pocket opening with the notch at the top edge of the pocket stay, and the bottom of the pocket opening a 1/2 inch out from the notch on the side edge of the pocket stay. Pin your pocket bag in place along the top edge and the side edge of your front piece. Carefully fold back your front piece so you can see the pocket bag front and the pocket stay. Make sure the pocket bag is lying smooth against the pocket stay. The straight edge should come a 1/2 inch beyond the notch at the top edge of your pocket stay. Pin together along the straight edge and the bottom edge. Sew 1/2 inch seam allowance from the straight edge of your pocket bag. Finish the bottom curved edge of your pocket bag front and pocket stay pieces with an overlock stitch. Sew your pocket bag in place along the top edge and the side edge of your front piece. Sew the pocket stay along the front rise just below the opening of the pocket along the side seam. I'm sewing the curved edge of the fly piece with some bias tape so I can finish that edge. I wasn't planning on doing Hong Kong seams, but they gave instructions for it and I really like the way they look, and I just happen to have some blue bias tape, some navy bias tape, so I'm giving it a shot. Trim the seam allowance. To finish the Hong Kong seam, iron the bias tape flat, then turn it over and iron it on the fold, then stitch in the ditch so you have a really clean finish. Fold the fly shield in half long ways and sew one of the short ends with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Turn it right side out and press. With the folded edge on the left hand side, place the zipper 5/8 inch below the top edge, measuring from the top of the zipper teeth. Place the zipper tape from the right hand side edge 1/4 inch away, and sew the zipper in place using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Place your shield piece zipper side down on top of your left front piece, align the raw edges, and sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Place the fly piece on the right front of your pants, align the raw edges, and sew. Finish the front rise of the right front piece with a Hong Kong or overlock stitch. Sew an edge stitch along the fly piece. Finish the left front piece with a Hong Kong seam, which is what I did here, or an overlock stitch. Sew an edge stitch along the shield. Bring your front pieces together along the front rise with right sides together. Make sure that your fly and your shield pieces are facing out. Line up the seam, and your fly should be 1/8 of an inch towards the right hand side of the seam from your shield. I'm fiddling with it here to try to get that 1/8 inch just right. Once you've got it pinned, sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Pin the center front edge in place 1/8 of an inch to the right hand side of the shield seam. Flip your pieces to the right side down, pull the shield piece away from the zipper, Pin the free zipper tape down to the fly piece. Make sure not to pin through the number 1 front fabric. And then sew along the zipper tape, only sewing through the zipper tape and the fly piece, stitching approximately 1/4 inch away from your zipper tape. Use your fly pattern piece to trace the curve of the shield piece and then top stitch along that line. Now I start on the back with right sides together, sew along the rise, the 2 back pieces. I actually have the wrong sides together here because I'm going to do a French seam. You can do a Hong Kong seam, you can do an overlock stitch, you can do a French seam. I don't have enough seam tape and I want to keep going, so I'm going to do a French seam. So I put the wrong sides together, sew very close to the edge, iron the seam flat, and then the right sides together, and it gives a really nice clean finish. Here's the outside, back center seam, and the inside. Okay, the next step is to put the front and back of the pants together at the side seams. I tried it on before I started sewing and it fits pretty well. It's a little looser than I want, so I need slightly larger than a 1/2 inch seam on either side. But I'm going to do French seams again so the inside looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead here and I do the close 1/8 inch stitch, wrong sides together on both side seams. Then I put the right sides together and basted at a 1/2 inch, or I think it was more like 5/8 inch, and tried it on, and that fit really well. So I finished the side seams, and they look great. Then close up the inseam. I went through the same process and created a French seam. Right sides together, so the left waistband with extension to the right waistband at the center back. There are two of each pieces. One's going to be the waistband lining and one's going to be the regular waistband. Sew together your waistband and waistband lining along the top edge 1/2 inch seam allowance. Grade the seam allowance, press the seam toward the waistband lining, and then sew an understitch on the lining side. Attach the waistband to the pants. When you get to the center front, there should be a 1/2 inch of waistband length left over on both center front edges. I'm finishing the raw edge of my waistband lining. See that little piece of seam tape hanging over? That is the last bit of what I have. I had just enough to do this one finished seam, so it's going to look really nice on the inside of the pants. When I get all done, I'll show you the inside. So once again, sew the seam tape on, right sides together, then iron it so that all the seams are away from the piece of lining, then fold the tape and stitch in the ditch. It would have been so much easier to attach my tag to the waistband prior to sewing it onto the pants. I always seem to forget that, but I got it on. Fold the waistband lining toward the waistband, right sides together. Fold the bottom corner of the waistband lining in at an angle so that the fold meets exactly where the waistband seam and center front leg join, and then sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Trim and grade the seams, trim the corners, and turn right side out. Grade the seam allowance along the bottom edge of the waistband by trimming the pants seam. Press the graded seam allowance toward the waistband, then pin the waistband lining to the waistband and stitch in the ditch to close it all up. I folded the hem over twice, ironed it, and sewed it up. And I told you I would show you the inside. It looks so good. I'm so glad I did the Hong Kong seams. And I love that lining. It's kooky, but I love it. So, you guys, I really like these pants. I'm serious. They feel so good on. I love how cinched they are around my waist, and the fabric, you know, it's just that feeling. It's hard to describe. It just feels right. It's so light, and it almost feels like I have a long skirt on. I kind of love it, I have to say. I'm really happy. This wasn't totally easy. That whole pocket fly thing was challenging. I really like it here with the print, you know. I do like to mix my prints. I like a little maximalist styling. This is the cuff top, which I made. I'll put a link below to that pattern. And then this is the Teo Boho blouse. I put in my own sleeve. I love this. I love this shirt. I wear this all the time, and I think this looks great together. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Questions, thoughts, ideas, I welcome it all. And yeah, I'll be back again soon with another video. Okay, bye.